Hi, I'm Samantha, and I want to start by saying something important. I see you. I see the late nights you've spent perfecting your resume. I see the disappointment when another application disappears into the void. I see the self-doubt creeping in, making you question your worth and your qualifications. And I want you to know that every single feeling you're experiencing is valid and shared by millions of talented professionals just like you. The job market can feel impersonal and discouraging, but your career story deserves to be told in a way that captures attention and opens doors. That's exactly what Resume Flow does. We take your unique experiences, skills, and aspirations and craft them into a compelling narrative that employers can't ignore. You're not just looking for any job. You're looking for the right opportunity that recognizes your value and propels your career forward. With Resume Flow's AI-powered insights and optimization tools, we're going to make sure that opportunity finds you. Your breakthrough moment is closer than you think. Let's create it together.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Every step I took alone, built a kingdom all my own. No more shadows pulling strings. I am light, I am wings.
I walked away, no chains to bind. I left the past, I cleared my mind. The road was rough, the skies were gray, but I broke free, I found my way.
I walked away, I broke the chain, left behind their endless reign. Tried my best to make it fit, but their world wasn't it. Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust.
Freedom's
Here and I can trust.
I tried my best, I gave my all, but their world was too small. They couldn't see beyond their walls, so I chose to rise, not let myself fall.
Saw their ways a hollow sound. No real love was ever found. Left them there where they belong. Now my heart beats twice as strong.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Their whispers fade like distant songs. I found my voice where I belong. No anchors now, no shadows stay. I face the sun, a brighter day.
They wanted walls, I wanted skies. I couldn't live their tangled lies. Now I'm soaring, winds at play, dancing light in every way.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong. I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from their weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe. I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from the weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe.
What's up? What's up? What is up? How is everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you are having a incredibly phenomenal week. Let me get my preview up here real quick so I can see, so I can look at you guys. I want to look at you. There we go. Boom. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Hopefully you're having a phenomenal week. I'm Tech Ralph. We are engineered to win, or like some of my friends like to say, like I was doing last night, I do my very best to annoy you to success because I want to see you win. Tonight's agenda, we are going to be jumping into a new platform that reached out to me. They wanted me to check out what they have to offer called Create Anything. I made a quick video about it yesterday to start looking into it to see what it's all about. And I told you guys about yesterday on the video, I told you guys about the kerfuffle that I ran into where I actually created my own lower third for my show with kind of like with what you see now, but I was able to do it myself. But then they wanted me to pay a whole bunch of money in order to use it without the what do you call it? Without the watermark. I was like, whoa, what gives with that? That is not cool. And it's like super expensive per month. So all right, you know what? I don't have to take this. I'm going home. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if we can use this tool in order to create our own lower third. They said that it's also able to create like mobile apps and desktop apps. So we'll explore those as well. But I am a little bit bitter about not being able to do my customized lower third. So we're like, you know what? If they're going to try to, take advantage of us, then we shall do it ourselves. That's how the game goes, right? If they try to, what's that saying, rake you over the coals, then you're like, you know what? I am the coal. I am the coals. So that is the game plan for tonight. But before we get into that, we have to take care of a little bit of housekeeping. So first and foremost, I just want to say a big thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel, those who have been with me for a very long time, and those who are brand new to the stage. Thank you so much for supporting and for allowing me to add value into your lives. There's so many other things you could do. We're going to talk about a little bit about basketball tonight, but there's basketball happening. There's football happening. Hockey season is starting. Baseball season is rounding down. So many things. Kids have sports. So many different things that are happening. But if you can carve out a little bit of time to level up your tech skills and your career skills with me, Tech Ralph, then I just want to tell you that I truly appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. There's so many things to do. There are so many things to do that for us to level up our skills, our mindset, all that, it always gets put to the back burner. But we don't do that here. We do not do that here. We focus on growth, and we carve out the time. We carve out the time for us to get better, whether we have to wake up earlier in the morning or we go to sleep later at night, or during our lunch breaks, we have to spend a little bit extra time to focus on us so that we can level up, so that we can add value into the lives of other people. I'm gonna tell you a 10-second story that my guy in the chat right here, Junior, told me. Right, he told me, and this was at one of our vibe code and chill sessions at techcoachtrap.dev, but he told me how he leveled up when he was working in the subway systems, like as a electrician or engineer or something like that, and how that there were supervisors who were offering to teach them, right? To teach them, and all the other people who were in the apprenticeship, they never showed up. But Junior, he was always bright and early, coming in an hour or two extra early, staying late, going on his lunch break to level up, to learn more. And that's how he elevated through the ranks. And that's how he grew. So you got to carve out that time. You got to carve out that time so you can get to where you want to be. All right. So that's why I say that for those who are able to make the time to learn with me, to grow with me, I really appreciate you and shout out to you. All right. Next up, shout out to my Tech Barbarians, my Tech Project members, my Technical Explorers, all of the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon members who are working so hard day in and day out. They join the Vibe Coding Chills. They watch the replays. They join our Scrum nights. We work one-on-one. They sign up for the coaching portal, for the wait list, all of that, because we are working towards our goals every single day, working really hard to track our progress so that we can do that self-assessment every day, every week, every month, every year. We are the best.
We the best.
All right. And last but certainly not least, shout out to my tech mercenaries. Those are the YouTube channel members who support the channel, who help us to continue to get this message, this tech message, this career message out across the entire world. And maybe once we land on Mars, to the entire universe. There's nothing else that we can do but get it. So let's go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
All right. So that is the thank yous, the gratitudes, my daily gratitudes that I have for you. All right. Now, upcoming shows. Tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing the Bug Bite. What is the bug? I don't even remember what the Bug Bite is about. I recorded it over the weekend. It's going to be good. I know. You know what? Let me find out. Let me find out what it is going to be about. It is about, let's see. Oh, it is about it's about a Coinbase lawsuit. A Coinbase. You guys know Coinbase, right? You guys know Coinbase. They have a lawsuit on their hands. We're going to be reviewing that. So check us out tomorrow, noon Eastern time. I'm going to be premiering it. We're going to be looking at that. Then we have, I have a pretty busy weekend this weekend. So there's nothing happening in the Patreon this weekend. It's going to be next weekend. Last weekend, we had our Vibe Code and Chill. It was a special show, a software testing workshop. What I'll do is I am going to post the video this weekend from last weekend in the Patreon for those to watch on playback. Let's see. And then Sunday, we're going to be live. We're going to be continuing working on what are we working on Sunday? I think was it Super Bass. Working on Super Bass, working on trying to get this speaking app off the ground so that, and I was thinking about too, maybe even trying this create anything application to see what it can do with the speaking app, right? We got all the documentation laid out with SpecKit. We started building with Kilo, but we didn't get too far with it, so that's not a big deal. I had some Docker issues the other day where I think Super Bass took up a lot of Docker space. So we're going to I fixed that. Docker's up and running again. So we're gonna have to monitor that. We're gonna try to do it again. But that is what we have coming up on Sunday, as well as everything else. We're releasing a bunch of videos, a bunch of shorts, a bunch of videos, some of our working segments, I'm cutting those up. So we have a lot of things, trying to add a lot of value to your lives. So leave me comments if you have any thoughts. Oh, and one more thing. Shout out to my guy, David Yeti, who joined me on Tuesday stream to share with us his experience passing the CompTIA Security Plus test. That is a huge accomplishment. Join him on his channel. I am David Yeti, as he is doing his study with me's every Wednesday night, I believe, so that you guys can stay focused, work together, grow together. But shout out to David Yeti. Congrats again for passing the Security Plus test. And I look forward to having him back on the channel to have more conversations as he continues to win, as he continues to grow in his career path. All right. So that is all. All right. I am going to check the chat. Then we're gonna get into a little bit of a little weird icebreaker. Today was a weird day. I woke up, I was like, this can't be true. So let me check the chat, and then we're going to get into our semi icebreaker. Right? We got my guy, Mystify in the building. Says I like this song. Shout out to you. That song is called I Walked Away. I love that. I love that song. It's called I Walked Away. It is on the Captivity album by Tech Coach Ralph, available on all major streaming platforms. That is that the whole album is my favorite song, but that is one of my favorites. I Walked Away, because sometimes you just gotta walk away. Let me get to the chat that I didn't see. We got my guy in the building. Junior says, what's up, family? What's good with you, Junior? And Junior says that, let me see. Junior says, always having a phenomenal day, week, month, year, and life. Let's get it. That is what I like to hear. Magnetar says something happened, but it must have been on his end. I hope so, because hopefully we're good. Looking at my numbers, it's a little so. I had some drop frames earlier on, so it might have been me. You might have had some latency. Who knows? I've been dealing with latency issues all day, all week, so we're trying to figure that out either here or at work. It's been kind of crazy. All right. Let me see. Megan says, well, hoping they clear out that space junk or a good chunk of it. Let me see. We got my guy Magnetar with the Sith. You know what, Magnetar? I'm going to do this right now because this is unacceptable. It has been too long that I have not fixed this yet, and I feel that I am doing you a disservice. So I'm going to fix this right friggin' now for my guy Magnetar. This is unacceptable. All right. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find this thing over here. Let's go to here, and we're going to go to, because I feel that I am letting my guy Magnetar down by not having his sound ready for over 2 weeks now. I gotta do better. Okay, where is this? This would be called. Let's see if I can find this, because this is wrong. This is wrong of me. This is so wrong of me to be doing this. Let me see. Let me sure. That would be I see all of them except for that one. Oh, there we go. So there goes one, and then the other one is the lightsabers. Is that what they call? Let me know in the chat. What do they call the little swords, those laser swords that they use in Star Wars? Are those the lightsabers? Let's see. Where are we? Well, I'm gonna get this. This is gonna happen right now, because I cannot be doing this. This is wrong of me. I say I'm gonna do it, and then I never do. There you go, lightsaber. All right, there you go. So I'm gonna do this again. Right? My guy Magnetar with the Sith, Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
See? As promised, taken care of. I gotta take care of my guy Magnetar, because it's unacceptable. It is unacceptable on my end, and I apologize for that, Magnetar. I should do better. I just did better. All right. Hopefully you can forgive me. I got my guy KG609 in the building. What's up, KG609? And Magnetar, turn that frown upside down, Magnetar. We are good. Let's go. The lightsaber. We got the lightsaber in the building. And Magnus says, outstay. See, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a round of applause, which I'm gonna give myself one of these first, because I took way too long to deliver. But now that I did deliver, I'm gonna give myself one of these. Yes. All right, so let's jump into this little icebreaker real quick. It's kind of a long icebreaker, but what in the National Basketball Association is going on? We're gonna watch this. we're not gonna watch the whole thing. It's a long video, but NBA coaches, NBA players, former and present. Damon Jones played for the Miami Heat for a while, I believe. Let me look up Damon Jones. I believe he played for the Miami Heat for a minute or two. Damon Jones, Miami Heat. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he played for the Miami Heat. He averaged 1.8 points. No, he played. I remember he played for the Miami Heat for. Let me see. Did he? Let me see. He has a Heat jersey on. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find a. Oops, what did I press? Let's see if I can find. What did I just? Oh, let's see. He played for them. Let me see. Did he? That's a Heat jersey, right? Stats maybe. Yeah, he played for the Heat from 2004 to 2005. Yep, I remember that. He played for the Heat. He averaged 31 minutes. Oh, he had 11 points on the Heat. That's not bad. He's a backup point guard. I remember that. I remember that. All right, but what in the National Basketball Association is going on? We are going to watch this part of this video, not the whole thing, because it's pretty long, but it is crazy, right? Let's watch together. Hold on, there's no sound. No sound. Hold on, let me get the sound working. Properties. Student. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again.
First off, what are the facts as we know them?
Okay, so two different investigations. One that involved the Trailblazers head coach, Chauncey Billups, was about illegal poker and organized crime. Basically, they'd set up these poker parties in Manhattan. They were using modified card shuffling machines and
they were cheating.
And cameras in the desks and things like that. They were bilking unsuspecting gamblers out of millions and millions of dollars. And they say that the head coach, as well as Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones, who is a former Cavs player, were there to lend an air of legitimacy to these poker games and lure them in. Who doesn't want to sit next to the head coach for the Trailblazers?
Do we know, and all these are, I want to be very clear, all these are allegations. Everybody here may be found innocent. That's a critical.
Out of all the teams he played for, why did she call out the Cavs? He played for so many different teams. Why was it the Cavs that was like, he played for the Cavs? Like, right? Like, who cares? Who cares? He wasn't that good. All right. I'm just gonna say he wasn't that good that he's actually like his cap. I mean, if I had to mention a team that he played for, I would mention the Heat because he averaged 11 points on the Heat. He played his most minutes per season on the Heat, averaging 31 minutes a game, and he averaged 11 points, highest field goal percentage on the Heat. But they mentioned the Cavs. I don't know. Anyway, I digress.
Critical part of the story. Do we know at all if Billups was aware of his role in sort of bringing in marks, if you will?
Prosecutors say that he was in on it, that he was part of the scheme to lure people in and to lend this an air of legitimacy. He will be in federal court in Oregon this afternoon. The second investigation is about throwing basically NBA games and then profiting on inside information. They point specifically to Terry Rozier when he was with the Hornets in 2023 in March, playing a game, telling people he was going to have an injury, and they go out and they bet about $200,000 on the unders for Rozier. They profit tens of thousands of dollars on those player props. They go back to he played 9 minutes of the game. They go to Rozier's house. They split up the proceeds. And bada bing, bada boom.
So for a lot of our viewers,
this is so stupid. What was it? The movie Above the Rim with Tupac in it, where they wanted the star basketball player to throw a game, and I don't remember if he actually threw it or not, but something happened, right? I understand it. High school, maybe college. Still wrong. It's still wrong. But I understand it from high school, maybe college. But NBA, we checked this earlier today, and Rozier made about $100 million in his NBA career, and he's throwing games. You see, here I think part of this, right, is it could be a couple of things. Loyalty to the trash you came out of, right? Because we're talking about loyalty the other day. And sometimes we are loyal to the worst things, to the worst of people. And now, because they did something for us a long, long time ago, now we are going to commit these crimes. We are set for life. But now we allegedly committed the worst of crimes. Not the worst, but pretty bad crimes, right? Technically stealing and cheating, and now you're gonna go to jail. Allegedly. Most likely, allegedly. Allegedly, most likely. Something like that, right?
Viewers and listeners that are not sort of sports gamers. What Contessa's talking about, and if I'm wrong, tell me. Alex, jump in. You can bet on individual player stats. This player is going to score either under 14.5 points or more than. You don't just bet on sports outcomes. You can bet on player outcomes. And so if a player is betting on him or herself and then takes him or herself out of a game before they reach said point, they're effectively, as I think prosecutors, Alex, called this, insider trading the NBA.
They call it the insider trading saga for the NBA. With Cash Patel's.
And look, the leagues and the betting companies themselves for years have defended legalized sports gaming, broadly speaking, primarily by saying it facilitates the openness of regulators being able to identify potential scandals in a way that didn't exist when this was all black market. So if you look at it from that lens, you can say, okay, well, the betting platforms were able to provide information of unusual betting patterns around these particular prop bets. Because what happened here was there was a surge of betting on the under for Terry Rozier in that particular game, and then Terry Rozier pulled himself out of the game early, and so the under paid off. And so people were able to connect the dots here and say, wait a second, this is unusual.
They connected the dots because the legal sports books and the integrity monitoring technology, they all work together to alert authorities. This is part of the same conspiracy that got Jonte Porter when he was in Toronto for betting on it.
Because the FanDuels and the DraftKings and all the other ones in the world, they're already putting out statements like the integrity of the game. They're going to do one of these back off because and I'm going to use a CNBC analogy. Again, if I'm wrong, jump in. This would be the equivalent of a Robinhood or a Schwab or a TD Ameritrade saying, yo, people are going to do bad things in the stock market, but and we're going to help find them. We're not enabling them. We're going to actually help fix them.
To be clear, the legal gambling industry has their biggest competitor is the illegal gambling industry. They put the sports betting offshore unlicensed gambling at more than $600 million. And so they have a vested interest in trying to get everybody to come on the platform. So why you're using, if you're a professional athlete and you're using a legal platform to gamble on yourself, it raises more questions.
Well, we're not talking astrophysics here. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I mean, the counter argument to this is that the proliferation of legalized sports betting potentially elevates the likelihood of something like this happens. That would be the argument to say something needs to be changed here. And maybe what needs to be changed is things like prop betting on individualized players.
Does it go? Okay, I tweeted out. Does it go away? Should prop betting on players go away? Or is it not?
That's what they're worried about. Why? Because the player props are what go into the parlays. The parlays are the most profitable product that the sports books have.
So they'll never go away. Too much money.
But the regulators are in charge of that, and it goes state by state. There are some.
Here's why it'll never go away. Here's why it'll never go away. Because here's I don't know if these people who are making this commentary know this or not, right? But prop betting has been happening forever. It was just illegal at the time, and it's still technically illegal now unless you're doing it through what these companies do is they just legalize what has been illegal, and they try to put regulations, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. What was just because you take something that was illegal and you make it legal, it doesn't take away that people are still doing it illegally. Because I remember that they're like different barbershops. They were like, they had like betting stuff that was happening where they were doing prop bets and parlays and all this type of stuff that I don't even understand how, like, the terminology or how they work, but they were doing it. So now when just because you give a FanDuel or a DraftKings or whatever to do it, quote unquote, legally, that doesn't stop the underground world from still doing it. Because guess what? You probably win way more money with the underground, and your name isn't showing up in these quote unquote books. Now they're in those illegal books, but so I don't know if they understand this or not. But just because, like, you can put, there were already laws and regulations around this, and they were doing it anyways. And now when you add in the mafia, to this.
States that are very fierce on regulation. They don't let you bet on college sports if that college is in your state. So
there's a lot of let's back it up for a second, because a lot of our viewers may not be in states where they can legally gamble, so we're using terms that people maybe know but they don't, whatever. So let's just make it a totally legitimate situation, right? I'm a professional athlete, insert joke here, but I'm a professional athlete and I have a cold. I don't feel good. And I tell some of my buddies, I'm really sick. I don't have any ill intent whatsoever. I'm just telling my friends I don't feel good. They go out and put a bunch of bets on me against me as a player the next day. I have no idea they're doing that. They just happen to know that I innocently said I had a cold. This is the kind of stuff we're going to have, the industry, Alex, is going to have to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the argument. The NCAA commissioner, Charlie Baker, wants to eliminate prop betting. He's said it publicly. So,
and again, the sports books, some of them do not offer player props in college sports for this very reason. They think that college...
Not yet.
They think, no.
College sports is not pro sports, Contessa. You know that. It's money. It's the same thing as pro.
Okay.
Well, but look, college athletes were just allowed to start betting on professional sports. That just happened.
Yes.
That announcement. So,
and they're getting paid millions of dollars now.
In today's CNBC Sport newsletter, I wrote about how the media companies themselves almost have to get into bed with the betting companies, or at least have a closer relationship with them from a partnership standpoint, because they're trying to develop alternative revenue streams to pay for the ever-increasing cost of the media rights to carry NBA basketball or NFL football. And these partnerships allow them a new revenue stream to tack onto the advertising and the subscription revenue they had. So we've seen that come together.
Yeah.
Okay. In the indictment itself, switching a little bit of gears here. This is really random but interesting, I suppose. They list the number of unknown player 1, player 2, player 3. It looks like, from your reporting, Alex, that player 3, and I want to be very clear, nobody's implying or implicating these players in anything, except they're mentioned as playing in games where this allegedly may have occurred. They're not involved in this other than being in the game. But player 3 was likely LeBron James?
I think without a doubt. Nobody else fits what player 3 is. And so just to explain what player 3...
And again, nobody's implying they're involved in this in any way other than being in the game, but it's a bold...
Or not in the game.
Or not in the game, it's a bold-faced name.
Right, it's a bold-faced name. The connection is to Damon Jones, who has a long-term relationship with LeBron James. If you look at the indictment, it says player 3 is a prominent Lakers player who had known Damon James for a while, who was out on this particular game in February of 2023 with an injury. LeBron James was the only player out with a lower body injury on that day. And the implication is that Jones got this information that LeBron was not going to play, and then, in essence, sold the information to bettors. And that was how this kind of...
Unbeknownst to LeBron James.
Unbeknownst to LeBron.
And you reached out to his office.
No comment officially from his people, but a person familiar.
That is crazy. That's where I understand LeBron, nothing to do with it, right? But so Damon Jones played for the Cavs from 2005 to 2008, right? So him and LeBron, I guess they might have been somewhat close. And I don't know if Damon Jones was he a assistant coach on the Lakers or something? But now he's disclosing insider information on LeBron James for people to go and make bets.
Earlier with LeBron's thinking, said he didn't know anything about this. Yes, he was friends with Damon Jones, but he had no idea that he was selling this information.
But again, the legal sports books monitor for suspicious activity. And when they see an unusually large amount of wagers coming in on...
Junior, the other day, I was talking about loyalty. Friends, you do be loyal to your cause, be loyal to your mission, not to people. Because look, now, your friend got you named in an indictment. Not that you did anything wrong, but I I don't want to be named on any indictment. I don't want my phone tapped by the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, the CIA, the HHS, ICE. I don't want my phone tapped. I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be named in any indictment. I want the IRS, definitely not the IRS, right? I want them far, far, far away from me. Now, your friend. All right. Can I float a thought by us here? Can we say that real friends will not have you named in an indictment? Not even referenced. I don't even want to be referenced as player number 3. Can we say that real friends will keep you out of their indictments? Just a thought.
And under for a player who then goes out, then they go back and they look, where are they coming from? What?
Because they can track locations
Absolutely.
too, right?
That all exists. And then the legal sports books are working with the authorities to crack down on this. But what's happening is if you've got illegal offshore unlicensed sports books that are doing $600 billion of business, it's massive. It's a massive, massive industry. Are you then encouraging people to go offshore to do their dirty business because they're going to
The answer is yes, you are.
go undetected? This is one reason why the legal sports industry is saying, and the sports books are saying, we have got to have more enforcement.
That's why I said it a few minutes ago. It's not astrophysics. I mean, it's like if you're going to don't insider trade. But like it's like people get caught insider trading because they put these huge outsized buys or sells on. It's very easy, folks, especially with AI. The FanDuels of the world, they can track behavior better than you.
One more business impact here, and I don't want the poker thing to get lost in this, because when you have poker games in bed with organized crime, which is the allegation that U.S. prosecutors have come up with, it also harms commercial casinos that run poker tournaments. They are trying to move beyond the old
back room, cigar chomping, kneecapping.
Al Capone, and that's exactly. I mean, the days when Al Capone was running Vegas are days that the guys who are worried about how am I going to report my profit margins on the quarterly earnings call, they're trying to distance themselves. And if you're trying to get into Texas, Las Vegas Sands has spent years and tens of millions of dollars trying to get Texas to legalize casinos. A poker scandal like this does not help.
Final word, Alex?
Just to your earlier point, like this, it wasn't as if this was some sort of ingenious scheme.
No, it was not.
So it was a very straightforward.
Very easy,
we're going
very easy to catch.
Throw a bunch of money on. Very easy to catch. Very easy to execute. And so I think at least the silver lining here might be like, don't do that for anybody involved. You're going to get caught.
Okay, don't do that. It's a good left. Thank you. One to grow on. But if the NBA had 3 things at the top of the list to not happen at the beginning of the season. Last night you had Victor Wembanyama come out as one of the stars or the star of the league now. 7'5" stud, just had an unbelievable game. Now you got this headline: NBA had nothing to do with it, but the NBA's name is splashed all over it. It's just awful time.
Yeah, we should mention Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups are both indefinitely pulled away from their team.
He's the coach of the Trail.
I disagree that the NBA has quote unquote nothing to do with it. The two of their employees, I don't know if Damon Jones is still a coach or whatever, but two of the NBA employees, a head coach of a team, a pretty like well-known team, indicted a player for the Miami Heat. Isn't he hurt? He might not even be playing. I don't know. I think he might be hurt, but indicted. The mafia? Look, when let me finish this video real quick.
And
Hall of Famer.
And Andre Iguodala came out with the Players Association and said, we also have to give the benefit of due process to our players, innocent until proven guilty.
And if you read the indictment, I think one of the things that stuck out to me was Terry Rozier has 2 nicknames. One of them is Scary Terry.
I knew that one.
And the other one is Chum.
Did not know that one.
So it's like you're covering both.
There's a lot of nicknames.
There's a lot of nicknames.
A lot of nicknames,
You're
yeah.
covering both sides, though. Chum, which is a nice guy. Scary Terry, which is not so nice. Anyway, a little bit of lighthearted look at a very serious, troubling story. Contessa, Alex, thank you very much.
Nope. Not good. And so yeah, when I'm watching this unfold this morning, right? And I'm listening to FBI director. Was it who? It was either Kash Patel, the FBI director, or whoever spoke after him, the U.S. attorney, right? And they're talking about the mafia, and I hear Gambino. I'm like, Gambino? Didn't I see this in some movie from like the 90s or the 80s, like with John Gotti or something like that? And I'm like, is this a movie? Like this literally sounds like a script from a movie. It's like you take Above the Rim and you mix it with a John Gotti New York Mafia style movie, Chicago Mafia style movie, right? I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't hear Al Capone mentioned this morning. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? You guys are Chauncey Billups, I think a 2-time NBA champion. Detroit won 2 times back to back. In like, did they win 2 times back to back? I don't remember, but I know they beat the Lakers. I don't know if they won a second time. But what are you guys doing?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
All right, that is where we are at today. All right, I'm gonna check the chat and then we're gonna actually get to work. We're gonna get to work. So, let me see. KG609 says, "Hate to see it, shaking my head." Junior says, "Criminals, allegedly. It's interesting that when it's your friends, right? When it's your friends, they're always innocent until they're proven guilty. But if it's somebody else that you don't like, you will throw them under the bus." Junior says that's a fact about be careful with the loyalty. Says, and I don't want to deal with any 3-letter agency. Nope. I wish I had my other. I would have played the "Do Not Come" soundbite. Says I wouldn't get involved in anything I wouldn't get anybody involved in anything I have going on. Exactly. And the thing is, right? The thing is too, like if you think about the movie American Gangster, right? He quote unquote didn't get his family, his wife, his mom and stuff involved in what he had going on, but they lived in his house. They would go out with him. He would buy them stuff. All of that stuff is getting involved. I mean, remember the coat that the wife had, or the coat that the wife bought him, whatever got him that attention? It's still being purchased with ill-gotten money. So all of that stuff gets your family involved. All that stuff gets your friend, whoever you are around. That's why I roll one, as Zero says, I roll one deep. One deep O. All right. Junior says, the stricter the government, the wiser the population. Criminals only get smarter as restrictions get tighter. Say it again. And KG609 says, Terry Rozier fumbling. Didn't he have domestic violence issues when he was with the Hornets? I don't know. I never really followed him that closely, but like I remember I saw him I remember him from the Celtics. I didn't really watch him with the Hornets, but I wouldn't be surprised. And it says that audio was low. Congratulations. Was it? All right, hold on. Let me see. Let's try that one more time.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It is kind of low. Yeah. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. All right. So there you have it. Well, let's get to work. Let us get to work. So I am going to take you to the platform called Create Anything. Pull it up somewhere. There we go. So this is the platform called Create Anything. They told me to check out their website, their application. All right, cool. I'll check it out. Basically, they said they can do anything, right? I don't know. We reviewed it yesterday. I haven't tried it out yet, so we're gonna figure it out together. What I want to do is, and if you haven't seen the video from yesterday yet, then you definitely want to go. What is this? Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, if you haven't seen the video from yesterday yet, you should definitely go check it out. You can see what Create Anything. What is? Goodness gracious, hold on. Let me fix some things up. Let me fix some things up over here. Looking all messed up and stuff like that. Let's do that. That's what happens when you share elements. We fix it in real time over here. If I don't like it, I'm like, all right, we gotta fix that. let's do. All right, there we go. All right, no, that works for me. That works for me. Move this up a little bit. All right, cool. So, oh, that got me. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Matt for subscribing to the channel.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, but not. I'm like, oh man, somebody taking a shot at me. What is going on over here? Looking all funny. Let me that, and we're gonna go with. There we go. All right, now we're good. Now we are good. Okay, so there we go. All right, cool. So now we're good. Now we're good. Be having OCD sometime. Like, I don't like how this is aligned. All right, so basically, I want to see if this application can recreate the lower third in OBS, right? So basically, I want to create an OBS app. So I'm gonna like, this is my first time actually using this. We're gonna do it live together. So when you go to the new project, let me see. Can I rename this project? Let me see. All right, so I can rename it. I want to say OBS lower third plugin. So that's what I'm gonna name it. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this a little bit better. We'll see what we're able to do with this. First time actually using this myself. So let's see. What is your app idea? So I use OBS. Let's say this. I am a content creator who live streams using OBS. I need a plugin for OBS to create lower thirds that can be configured through a doc and added to the what do I call it, added as a. And what I'll do is I'll try to show you my OBS screen as well, if that's possible. Added as a browser source. I want to have the ability to put 20 minutes as well.
It's time to
I want to have the ability to say how many lower thirds, or it's I'll say to have more than one lower third that I can rotate through. I want to have multiple, what do I call it, rows that can be configured for the lower third. Each row will have its own text and background color. The background color should be able to take a gradient that can be specified to go vertically or horizontally. What else do I want? I want to be able to add a picture or logo to the lower third. I should be able to specify if I want the logo on the left or right side of the lower third. What else do I want? I don't know. What else do I want? Oh yeah. I want the lower third to, I want to be able to, I want to be able to have each row of the lower third, or I just say I want the ability to have transitions on each element of the lower third. So, and to be able to specify that how the transition occurs. Anything else that I want from that? Anything else do I want from that? That's what I can think of right now. That is what I can think of right now. Let's start off with that. Let's see what we can get out of that. Let's go and send that off. What are these? So you can add an image. What is this? You can say how you want it to be. You can say which model. I think it's probably using this one. It's interesting because they said that you can, I guess you could use this one, but because I remember they said they're using GPT-5, but they have Sonnet here, so Cloud Sonnet. So, what is this? What is this? Add an integration. So you could do integrate with ChatGPT. You could do assets, upload assets. You can do Google image search. I don't need none of that right now. So let's send this off. Let's see what we get. Let's see what it's able to do for us. Designing your product. Okay, I like it. Because we've used a lot of things. We haven't used like Make or Replit. We haven't used Cursor, but we have used Kilo. We definitely know we've used Lovable. All right, so the user is asking for, I was reading that. All right, so I'll help you create an OBS lower third system. This will be a web-based solution with configuration dashboard and browser source display. Let me build this step by step. Creating the app page.jsx. So we're going to be using React, I guess. Let me see what I was thinking. So the user is asking for an OBS plugin to create lower thirds. This is a complex request that involves a configuration interface, a doc. This would be a web-based interface, a browser source that displays the lower thirds. Okay, the doc. Okay. The browser source that displays the lower third. This would be another web interface, multiple lower thirds that can be rotated through, multiple rows per lower third with customizable text as a background color. Yep. Gradient backgrounds, vertical or horizontal. Logo/image support with left right positioning. Yep. Transitions for each element. Yep. Since this is an OBS, I need to create a configuration dashboard doc interface, web-based. I got you. Display interface for web source. Got you. Backend API to store and manage the lower thirds data. Okay. Real-time communication between the dock and display, probably using polling or WebSockets. Okay. Let me start with the front-end interface, then create the backend and finally connect them together. User mentioned they want this to be an OBS plugin, but OBS plugins have docs. OBS plugins that have docs are typically written in C++. However, what they're describing sounds more like a web-based solution here. Yes, that's what I'm describing because I've seen it done in other places before. The doc is a web page. They can open a browser or browser doc in OBS. Yes. The lower third displays in a browser source in OBS. I'll build this as a web application that can serve both purposes. Cool. Looking at the design reference, I should use similar styling with a clean modern interface. I'll create main configuration dashboard with tabs for different sections, lower third library with presets, row configuration, logo, image uploading and positioning, transition control, a separate display page for browser source. All right, let me start by creating the main configuration interface, then display interface, then the backend. I'll help you create the OBS lower third system. This will be a web-based solution. Whoa, okay, that jumped on me. All right, let me finish reading this, and then we're gonna go and check that out. Still working. Let me zoom out a bit. All right, so where are we? So the OBS lower thirds is coming right up. UX layout recommendations, main dock interface with tab section, lower thirds library, current, active, and settings. Lower third is display, grid. Another thing we're going to need to add to it is the ability to control it with a Stream Deck. So that's going to be the next request after we get this part working. Grid view of save lower third with thumbnail preview, search filter bar. Oh, that's pretty cool. Current active selection, a live preview of active lower thirds with quick toggle button for rotation through multiple configured lower thirds. Configuration panel with collapsible section, layouts, rows, logo image transition, and the preview. Row configuration area with add remove row button, drag to reorder functionality, and individual row sec. Look, if this is able to work, that is going to be golden. I'm telling you, that's going to be golden. That is going to be golden. Transition control organized by element type, text background logo with drop down menus for transition types and duration sliders. Let's see, user interaction and flow. All right, create new lower third. So this is how to use it. The primary flow is to create a new lower third, configure the rows, text, colors, gradients, add logo positioning, set transitions, save preset, activate in OBS. Row management, click add row, enter text, select background, color gradient, configure gradient, direction, preview changes, logo workflow, upload image, transition setup. Get the browser source right there. Rotation flow, all right. Configure multiple lower thirds, set rotation order. Use hotkeys or dock controls to cycle through active lower thirds. That's what I want. I want to be able to use my Stream Deck to control this. Quick actions, duplicate existing lower third, import, export presets. I like that. Finishing details. All buttons require hover states with subtle color changes and press states with slight scale reduction. Form inputs need focus states with border colors, changes, and validation feedback. Color picker component should show hover preview and support hex RGB input. Gradient preview updates in real time as directions and colors are adjusted. Loading states for images, all right, with progress indicator. All right, so let's see. Read that already. So we have so we're creating this page, creating components lower third, created file, editing. Now let me create the display, created this. Now let me create the database to store the thirds. Now let me create an API input for managing lower thirds. Now let me update the lower thirds manager to use the backend. Now let me add a layout. Perfect. I've completed the OBS lower thirds plugin system with configuration dashboard. Library management, create, edit, organize multiple lower third presets. Row configuration, add multiple text rows with custom colors and gradients. Logo support, transition controls, real-time updates. Browser source display, clean lower third rendering, professional broadcast style graphics. Okay, I like that. Gradient backgrounds, color integration, support left to right logo positioning, smooth transitions, configurable animations, auto updating, polls for changing. Okay, if we want to do that. How to use an OBS. Open the main page to create and configure lower third. Browser source in OBS, add a browser source. Recommended 1920 by 1080 for full screen coverage. Activate lower third. Use the play button in the configuration interface to activate different presets. A live control switch between different lower thirds during your stream. All right, let's give it a try. Let's go to lower thirds library. All right, so let's see if I do. Let's see how can I preview this? Can I? Oops. Trying to zoom out a bit, maybe. Trying to collapse this a little bit. All right. So let's see how this works. Lower thirds library. Preview somehow. How do I preview it? Let me upload my logo. Well, All right, let's go here. All right, so let's say, let's go lower thirds library. Let's say logo. So that's not working. Let me try drag and drop. Let's go to, where's my logo? Let's try this. Nope, that didn't work. So that is not exactly working yet. All right. Let's see if I do Tech Coach Ralph. Background color, gradient color. Transition, slide, preview. I don't see anything happening. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing, but all right, let me try this. What shows up over here? Oh, okay. So if I was to go to I don't know why it has this shape though. So what if I was to do like a something like that? I'm not seeing it do it yet. Let's see. All right, so let's say when I try to upload the logo, it doesn't open a upload window and the drag and drop onto the upload logo box isn't working. Can we get that to work? So let's try that first. Let's fix that first. Let's just say for now, let's say for personal use. Car. Okay. Mm. Hmm. All right, let's see what happens now. Let's see if we can get this to work. All right, it's writing some code. I mean, there's some other stuff that's not working too, though, so we'll have to figure all that out. Ooh, something changed. Probably because it's making updates to it. The logo functionality is not fully working. Here's what I implemented. Drag images files directly. Let's say why it wasn't working though. The user is having issues uploading. Looking at the logo component, I can see that it's just a static button that doesn't actually handle file uploads. I need to implement the proper functionality. All right, cool. Something I also want to see is how much of the branding and icon. I was trying to see how much of the usage it's taking up. All right, so it says the logo should be work. All right, so the system now provides a complete professional logo upload experience with both traditional click to upload and modern drag and drop functionality. Sounds like you're facing a frustrating. If you were to work with Macs, you could provide a deeper understanding of the complex issue, reason through the challenges. Plus, Macs can run the code to fix the issue and email you when it's done, ensuring you focus on what matters most without hassle. That's interesting. I don't normally trust AI to that extent, but let's see. Let me refresh this page. All right. Let's go to logo again. All right, so we have that is working where it opens up the window. Let me do a drag and drop and see if that works. All right, that works. Let's get the logo up there. Okay, cool. The logo's there. Refresh this. Okay, there goes the logo. There goes the gradient. I don't know why the shape is like this. Let's see the transition. Where am I supposed to preview the transition? I don't get it. Let's say we do slide, ease in, out. Let's say, I don't see anything happening. All right, so we want to be able to control the size of the all right, so let's say this. The rows seem to be pre-configured to a default shape. I want to be able to choose the shape, whether it is a rectangle, a I hurt myself here, parallelogram, or the current shape. I also want to be able to define if the row takes up one, or I can say define. Lunch break. Lunch break. Let me just write this out. Define the percentage of the width the lower third takes. Also, when I try to preview the actions of the lower third, like the transition, I don't see any I also want to be able to control the spacing between the rows. All right, cool. I'm gonna send that off, and then we're gonna go to break, right? So sending that off, we'll see what happens when we get back. So far, it's doing a decent job for the first time using it. We'll see what we can do, right? So let's go to break. Then we'll check out the results after that. So let me see if there's anything in the chat. And there's not. So we're gonna go to our first break time topic for today. Why? I ask again, why? Why did Amazon Web Services shut down the entire internet? We thought CrowdStrike was a thing last year. This AWS outage was crazy. What happened with the AWS shutdown? Why did it have such a big impact? Well, I purposely did not look into it that deeply yet because I wanted to review it on the show. But from what I heard is some DNS issue in US East 1 For those who don't know, US East 1 is based in Virginia. That's like the data center in Virginia. That is probably the most used AWS region in the world, right? Everything flows through US1. USE1 stands for US East 1, right? So I want to go and check out what the heck happened with Amazon. And this article, it's brought to us by The Register, and their take on it is a little bit different, right? So it starts off saying, Amazon brain drain finally sent AWS, Amazon Web Services, down the spout. When your best engineers log off for good, don't be surprised when the cloud forgets how DNS, domain name servers, work. Column. It's always DNS. It's a long-standing sysadmin saw, and with good reason. A disproportionate number of outages are at their heart DNS issues. So for those who don't know what DNS is, right? Basically, it is what routes traffic on the internet. So if you have a website, if you have a website, right, and you have a domain name, like I have techcoachralph.dev, I have techcoachingwithralph.com, the DNS name servers, it is what controls how people get to the website. So for instance, if I'm hosting a DreamHost, I have the name servers pointing to DreamHost. If for some reason a server that is like that DNS server isn't working, then people won't be able to get to your website. So it looks like a DNS issue happened with AWS on Monday. Because I'm telling you, like at work, we're getting alerts left and right. It was crazy. It was a crazy Monday, right? It says, and so today, as AWS, and this was written on Monday, and so today, as AWS is still repairing its downed cloud as this article goes to press, it becomes clear that the culprit is once again DNS.
Bruh. Congratulations, you played yourself.
I wonder if that one's lower just because of that soundbite itself. And so a quiet suspicion starts to circulate. Where have the senior AWS engineers, Amazon Web Service engineers, who've been to this dance before gone? And the answer increasingly is that they've left the building. Elvis has left the building, taking decades of hard-won institutional knowledge about how AWS systems work at scale right along with them. So what in the AWS happened? AWS reports that on October 20th at 12:11 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be around 3 a.m. my time, and we started getting alerts around 4 a.m. that things were not working on our systems. It began investigating increased error rates and latencies for multiple AWS services in US East 1 region. About an hour later at 1:26 a.m., which would be 4:26, I think our first alert came around like 4:45 a.m., the company confirmed significant error rates for requests made by the DynamoDB endpoint in that region. Oh my God. By 2:01 a.m., engineers had identified DNS resolution of the DynamoDB API endpoint for US East 1 as the likely root cause, which led to cascading failures for most other things in that region. And because if you're using the full AWS stack, that means for your database, you might be using DynamoDB. You might be using, let's say you're using Elastic Container. We've used a lot of these different tools here, right? Let's say you're using Elastic Container Services, you're using DynamoDB, you're using Route 53, and they're all routed through US East 1. And now DynamoDB starts to cause the issue. It's going to be a long, long day. DynamoDB is a foundational service upon which a whole mess of other AWS services rely. So the blast radius for an outage touching this thing can be huge. So, and you have to think about this, right? Let's say you don't use DynamoDB at all, but what do you think underlying AWS infrastructure uses? DynamoDB. So Now, all of, like, so let's say like their configuration is routing to their own internal DynamoDB using US East 1. You're going to suffer. You are going to suffer. As a result, much of the internet stopped working. Banking, gaming, social media, government services, buying things I don't need on Amazon itself. Well, I guess there was some reprieve. AWS has given increasing levels of details, as is their tradition when outages strike, and as new information comes to light. Reading through it, one really gets the sense that it took them 75 minutes to go from things are breaking to we've narrowed it down to a single service endpoint, but are still researching. So 75 minutes in tech is an eternity. Which is something of a bitter pill to swallow. To be clear, though, I've seen zero signs that this stems from a lack of transparency and every indication that they legitimately did not know what was breaking for a patently absurd length of time. I can confirm that I kind of saw the same thing. Note that for those 75 minutes, visitors to the AWS status page reasonably wondering why their websites and other workloads had just burned down and crashed into the sea.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
We're met with a all is well. My God. Default response. Well, it's not as if AWS had previously called out slow outage notification times as an area for improvement. Multiple times even. We can keep doing this if you'd like. The prophecy. AWS is very, very good at infrastructure. You can tell this is a true statement by the fact that a single one of their 38 regions going down, albeit a very important region, probably the most important region in the entire world, causes this kind of attention as opposed to it being just another Monday outage. At AWS's scale, all of their issues are complex. This isn't going to be a simple issue that someone should have caught just because they've already hit similar issues years ago and ironed out their kinks in their resilience story. Once you reach a certain point of scale, there are no simple problems left. What's more concerning to me is the way it seems AWS has been flailing all day trying to run this one to the ground. And like I understand what the article is saying, right? Because where are all the geniuses at AWS? Like, why did it take 75 minutes for them to pinpoint that it was a DNS issue with DynamoDB? Fair? That is a fair question, right? Suddenly, I'm reminded of something I had tried very hard to forget. At the end of 2023, Justin Garrison left AWS and roasted them on their way out of the door. Oh man, come on, man. I'm in a bind, Nate. He stated that AWS had seen an increase in large-scale events or LSEs and predicted significant outages in 2024. It would seem that he discounted the power of inertia, but the pace of senior AWS departures certainly hadn't slowed. And now, with an outage like this, one is forced to wonder whether those departures are themselves a contributing factor. They are asking the tough questions. It says you can hire a bunch of very smart people who will explain how DNS works at a deep technical level, or you can hire me who will incorrect you by explaining that it's a database. But the one thing you can't hire is the person who remembers that when DNS starts getting wonky, checks that seemingly unrelated systems in the corner because it has historically played a contributing role to some outages of yesteryear. When that tribal and this is so true because when you have people who built something like from a long time ago and then they leave, you're kind of like scrambling to figure it out, or you have to reinvent it to like try to redo it because you don't have that domain knowledge anymore. And if they left on bad terms, you're out of luck. You are out of luck. When that tribal knowledge departs, you're left with having to reinvent an awful lot of in-house expertise that didn't want to participate in your RTO games or your return to office games or play layoff roulette yet again this cycle. This doesn't impact your service reliability until one day it very much does in spectacular fashion. I suspect that day is today. Let's see, anything else with this? The talent drain evidence. This is to register a respected journalistic outlet. As a result, I know that if I publish this piece as it stands now, an AWS PR flake will appear as if by magic waving their hands, insisting that there is no talent exodus at AWS, a la Baghdad Bob. Therefore, let me forestall that time-wasting enterprise with some data. It is a fact. It is a fact that there have been 27,000 Amazonians impacted by layoffs between 2022 and 2024. Continuing into 2025, it's hard to know how many of these were AWS versus other parts of its Amazon parent because the company is notoriously tight-lipped about staffing issues. Internal documents reportedly say that Amazon suffers from 69% to 81% regretted attrition across all employment levels. In other words, people quitting who wish did it. So they're saying that there's 69 to 81% of people who quit that we wish they did not quit. The internet is full of anecdata of senior Amazonians lamenting that ham-fisted approach of their return office initiative. Experts have weighed in on citing similar concerns. If you're one of the early employees who built these systems, the world is your oyster. There's little reason to remain at a company that increasingly demonstrates apparent disdain for your expertise. Oof. So, and this is the take of the author, right, of this article. This is a tipping point moment. Increasingly, it seems that the talent who understood the depth or understood the deep failure modes is gone. The new, leaner, presumably less expensive team lacks the institutional knowledge needed to. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is too big. Oh, God, where was I? Let's see. All right, there we go. Where was I? Oh my goodness, where was I? All right, so there we go. I can see better now. It was like way too big. All right, so it says, where are the less expensive team lacks institutional knowledge needed to, if not prevent these outages in the first place, significantly reducing the time to detection and recovery. Remember, there was a time when Amazon's frugality leadership principle meant doing more with less, not doing everything with basically nothing. AWS's operational strength was built on redundant, experienced people, and when you cut to the bone, basic things start breaking. That's a fact. I want to be very clear on this one last point. This isn't about the technology behind this, the technology being old. It's about the people maintaining it being new. Very good point. Very good point. If I had to guess what happens next, the market will forgive AWS this time, but the pattern will continue. Oh my God, Nostradamus on the mic. AWS will almost certainly say that this was an isolated incident, but when you've hollowed out your engineering ranks, every incident becomes more likely. The next outage is already brewing. It's just a matter of which understaffed team trips over which edge case first, because the chickens are coming home to roost. That was the whole incident on Monday was absolutely crazy. Like, I think like the entire day we spent recovering from issues, getting alerts over alert after alert after alert after alert, and there was nothing we could really do about it. AWS started to come back up slowly, but Monday was a nightmare. Monday was a nightmare. And I'm sure a lot of different companies felt, because the thing is, right, even if AWS has issues, right, our customers are going to come to us and like, hey, your services aren't working. And now that begs the question, why would we not have a redundancy plan of, if one company goes down, what's your backup plan so that the customers aren't impacted, right? So, I mean, it's very unlikely, but the thing is also with that, it becomes very expensive, because while it's unlikely for this type of issue to happen, do you pay the money to have backup infrastructure ready to go? And it's still going to take time for it to, like, because it's not something that you're going to be using all the time every day. So it's hard to maintain. It is hard to maintain. All right. Anyhow, let's get back to the chat, and we'll get in one more segment of work today. All right. So let me see. KG609 says, do you believe it was a misconfiguration? I do. I see it similar to the CrowdStrike thing when it was like I don't know what exactly was the issue for this DynamoDB, but it could be it could be different things, right? It could be like some type of hardware messed up. It could be a software issue. They didn't have any details in this particular article of what caused it officially, but I think it was a mistake. Now the type of mistake, it could be like a software quality maybe testing issue, or somebody, or they deployed something, somebody didn't catch it. It could be hardware wise where something in the data center messed up, like it should have been replaced, it wasn't replaced, or they didn't catch that it was degrading. Um, could be so many different things, right? It's because the thing is, with networking with DNS, there's so many. There's also hardware associated. It's not only, it's like those data centers. Like there's a bunch of wires that are being put together and stuff like that. So my take is it's a mistake. Like I always go for incompetence before malice. I'm not saying that AWS or somebody there is incompetent. I'm just saying I don't personally go for, oh, somebody was targeting to do something wrong. I think it's more someone messed up or something messed up, and that's how it goes, right? So that's my take on it. That is my take on it. All right. Let's get back to another. We're gonna do one more segment. It's already late, so we'll do one more segment tonight.
Let's go! Let's go!
And let's see what it tells us over here. So it did the thing. It says now all the features you requested have been implemented. Enhanced lower thirds, shapes, rectangle, clean straight edges, slanted default angles, parallelogram, angled cuts on both sides, adjustable width, 20% to 100%, live preview, see changes immediately in the editor, slider control, easily adjustments with percentage display, row spacing 0 to 20, precise control, visual feedback, immediately reflected in display, working preview system, okay. Transition preview, click preview transitions to see animation, mini display, show how lower thirds will look on screen, all settings, including logos, shapes, colors, and spacing, real transitions, use actual transition settings, complete feature, upload the logo, shape selection, global settings, transition preview, full database support, how to use. We kind of have an idea how to use it already. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at here. And let's go here. Can I preview this somewhere? I don't see how to preview it yet. Lower thirds library. Okay. So let's say we do a rectangle with, let's say 100%. Row spacing, let's say 0. Oops, I can't get a 0. Wait. How does it go from 3, 2, 1, and then back to 4? That is weird. Go with 1, I guess. Okay, so we see that. I don't see the preview of the transitions though. Do I have to be here to see it? Let me try something. I don't see a preview of the transition. Oops. Put this back. Let me put this back over here. All right, let me do my (140, 144, 151, 140, 144, 151, All right, and then let's say here I wanted like it used to be something like this, and then here is something like that. Let's do that for now. And I will say I need to be able to specify the row height as well. But let's say this is called, so I'm going to say exploring, create anything, custom OBS lower thirds plugin. And here I'm going to say software explorations sponsored by resumeflow.app. And you know, if anybody wants to actually try this thing out, I will see. See, I'm not seeing the preview though. That's not bad. I'm gonna want to be able to control the font as well. That's not necessarily 100. All right, so let me say, let me open up this other software. Well, before let's do this. Let me try something. I'm gonna take this right here, and I am going to go into OBS. Let's see if we can get it to show in OBS first, all right? And I am going to say add a browser source. Let's see, create anything overlay plugin. And I am going to say here 1920 1080. And we say okay. Let's see if it shows up. It shows up. Kind of small, but it shows up. Let me do something different. I am going to say, instead of 1920, I'm going to say 1280 by 720. And now I can make that bigger. Not bad. That's not bad at all. Let me hide this one for now. I mean, it's in there. It's in there. Not the greatest yet, but it's promising. Especially the fact that we created ourselves. Let me see if I can get the transition to work though. Let's say, all right, let me add another row. Or not another row. I don't want another row. I want, let's trash that. I want to say lower thirds library. Let's do another lower third. And what if we say, where's the other one? Oh, say, where do I add another one? Hold on. I see add a row. I don't see any movement happening though. I don't see where to add another one though. This is add a row, which I don't want to add a row. I want to, let me see, adjust, configure rows, create, edit, lower third, select from library or create, select from library. Where's create new? It should be this, right? Yeah. All right. So let's say, all right. So let's say, when when I click the plus button to create a new lower third, it is not creating a new one. Let me refresh it to make sure, because sometimes you got to refresh it. Nope, it didn't show up. choose a preset from the library to start editing. But then all right, so yep, so create a new lower third. It's not creating a new one. I need to be able to add more lower thirds, as many as I want, and to be able to choose the font and the height of the lower third rows and the size of the font as well. I'm also not seeing the transitions work when I click preview. All right, so let me send those off and see what happens. It's decent. It's decent. The text is kind of small. I do want to be able to control. So basically what I want, while that's happening too, I'm going to open up the older software so that I can get the, it doesn't mess up my sound, so that I can get the color scheme that I had. Let's go to, ooh, what was that? What just happened? What in the world? It's weird. Weird. All right, so I am going to, so I'm just grabbing the colors that I had before. So this, oh God, all right, let's go. Just gotta wait till it's done. So we gotta wait till it's done building so that we can, I want to configure my colors. I want to choose my font. We should be able to load in our own fonts as well. And then we should be able to use this inside of OBS so that we can have our customized lower thirds. It's doing a pretty good job though. Like the fact that we were able to get this lower third in here already is pretty cool. I want to also be able to control. I want to be able to control the size of the logo, and for the row to go across, so like the logo sits on top of the on top of the rectangles. But those are more like CSS style stuff. And I still don't think that it's going to 100% of the, because for me 100%, right? If we are, let me see, if we are like, it should, I would expect it to be like to touch like all the way to the edge, right? But this is like the full window, and it's like stuck. It's not 100%. Like there's some type of padding around it. All right, so let's see what happened. So now we can add more lower thirds. Unlimited creation. You can create as many lower thirds as you wish. Proper database integration. Choose from 10 fonts. I don't see impact on there. Can adjust the height, the font size, the row size, per row customization, preview, fixed transition preview. Let's see, all transition types, real-time updates, preview shows your exact setting, including font, visual feedback. Okay. All right, so let's go and try to create another one of these. I don't, maybe it's me. All right, so I'm gonna go to background color. I also don't see the hex. Oh, there goes hex. Okay, so let's go. Oops, let's go with. There goes the hex. Let's go with that. And then here it's going to be and then the bottom one is going to be this solid color. And this one's going to be that solid color here too. So, see you back. Let's say you. For you. Or thirds library. Play. Color don't look bright enough. Let's see what else we got. So I mean, it works for the most part. Let's say this one we do like 40. This one, let's say we do the height of like 80. Let's say we leave those the same. Refresh. That looks bigger, right? This looks bigger than that. Let's see if we refresh this page. Okay. This gradient doesn't match though. Like if you look at this color, it's a lot lighter than this color. So I don't know why it has that darker color towards the end. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's say we do this at 120. And we do this at, oh my God, 80. Let's refresh. Preview, current active. I don't, the color is not. All right. Okay, so let's leave that as that. Let me see. I want the preview still isn't working. Oh wait. Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't see that earlier. All right, so that's cool. I don't know why it's not actually easing. All right, so how do we get? All right, so when I click use the display, all right, so I have the display URL in OBS. Click preview. Okay, so I still can't add an additional lower third. Maybe I'm doing it the wrong spot because I still can't add an additional lower third. I'm not sure why. Can add more rows. I don't want to add more rows though. I will say that I still can't add more lower thirds. Every time I click on the plus button, nothing happens. Let me do this. Let me do the my normal troubleshooting technique. So I go to console. Oh, we have some issues happening on over here. Okay, that's interesting. There's some issues happening over here. So let me clear this out. And I do add. All right, cool. We have some info. Cool. So let's go. Let me go and do my old school troubleshooting techniques. I'm gonna say copy. Sometimes when you start using new applications, you don't think about what you normally think about. So I'm there is a network error in the console when trying to add a new lower third. Here is the URL. Here is the response of the error. And if I go over to here and I say copy the response failed, that's it? What kind of error is that? All right, well, let's copy that. And I'll put this and I will send that off, see what it says. Let's see what that happens, right? But I'm gonna bring this back for now. And hide this for now. All right, we're gonna go to break. We are gonna go to break, and then we'll go for one more segment. We shall go for one more segment. Let me see what the chat says. Junior says, in there like swimwear. And also the app looks very promising. It does. If I can get this to work the way that I want, basically how I had it on the other application, and I think we're just about there, right? And if this application can create where I can get it into OBS, like I already got it to show, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Get the transition to work, being able to control it, customize it the way that I want it to be. Then bada bing, bada boom, I'm with it. I am with it. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. Says salute to everyone. Salute to you, Rod Brown, and the Christian Roundup. Shout out to you. Hopefully I said it right. You had a great stream last night. Although you held us hostage. You told the ushers to lock the doors, and you robbed us blind. You robbed us blind. But it was worth it though. It was worth it. All right. But let's get to this story over here. Right. Cognizant. Yes, cognizant. Cognizant, they introduce vibe coding as a service. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? So, let's find out. Let's find out together. So, Cognizant launches vibe coding as a service. Cognizant developed key intellectual property for Vibe Coding Week, including the Vibe Coding Hub, which handled registration, learning, team formation, prototype submission, evaluation, and asset collation. All right. So who is acting? Is Cognizant the ones who own? Let's see, Cognizant. Are they the ones who own Devon? Let me see. Let's see. They don't own Devon. What company is Cognizant? Let me see. What services does Cognizant provide? They're not Devon. Cognition is Devon. So who the hell is Cognizant? From digital transformation, including consulting, cloud, data, AI, cybersecurity. I don't know. All right, let's find out. Who the hell is Cognizant? So it says Cognizant has rolled out the enterprise vibe coding blueprint, a suite of services and reusable IP aimed at helping global 2,000 companies operationalize AI-assisted coding across technical and non-technical teams. The offering draws on the company's experience from its record-breaking Vibe Coding Week, recognized by Guinness World Records as the largest online generative AI-assisted coding event. The suite packages advisory, enablement insights, and tools that allow enterprise to experiment with AI, convert ideas into prototypes, and accelerate employee AI proficiency. Cognizant said the services will help organizations select AI tools, set up security controls, mobilize employees across skill level, and turn promising concepts into tangible outcomes. AI-first enterprises will distinguish themselves by putting powerful tools in people's hands and giving them a safe, structured way to create, Ravi Kumar, CEO of Cognizant, said. With the Enterprise Vibe Coding Blueprint, we're translating Cognizant's hands-on experience into a repeatable playbook combining advisory enablement and our own IP so clients can unlock innovation across the enterprise. Interesting. So basically, they're a consulting firm and they want to turn vibe coding into a service where they can teach, consult, train companies' employees on how to use AI. Basically, that's what they're doing. They're training companies on how to use AI. All right. Let's see which handle read. All right. So we read that. Develop key IP for Vibe Coding Week, including Vibe Coding Hub. They did all of that. The company also deployed Cognizant Neuro, an AI-powered system built by its AI research lab to evaluate prototypes at scale. The initiative targets both developers and business teams. Developers can reduce repetitive work and focus on architecture and innovation, while functions like marketing, operations, and sales can contribute directly via natural language collaboration with AI, generating prototypes that engineering teams can act on faster. So they can pretty much see if it's viable or not. Cognizant's blueprint includes a secure platform for participant management learning and prototype tracking, and a multi-agent evaluation system for automated scoring and feedback on prototypes. Phil First, CEO of HFS Research, called it a practical model to democratize AI innovations by combining governance, enablement, and rapid prototyping to create real business outcomes. During the Vibe Coding Week earlier this year, over 250,000 employees registered, tens of thousands attended masterclasses, and more than 32,000 prototype applications were developed across business domains. Interesting. So, Cognizant, they are doing the damn AI thing. They're doing the vibe coding thing, launching vibe coding as a service. So, something to look out for. It's a good idea, actually. It's a good idea. And if you are the go-to tech person in your circle, maybe you better do like Rod Brown and charge your friends, your people, your parishioners an entry fee. And if they don't give the right amount, if they don't follow directions, you better close the doors. You better tell the ushers to lock the doors Send me my super chat. I hear you. I hear you. All right, we're gonna do one last segment of work, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Let me go and put the 20 more. Let me put this back up on the screen. And let's do one more segment.
It's time to do.
Let's see if we can get this to work. So I told it what the error I was getting. It's perfect. I fixed the create button issue and enhance all the features. Try clicking the plus button now. It should work. Fix better transaction handling, enhance error logging, improve data validation, font family. All right, I already know this. I don't need to give me all the details over again. All right, so let's go and let's refresh this page. And if we do, see something. If we do, let me clear this out. And I do plus. Sweet, it works. Cool. So now we got more. So let's say we do. I'm gonna put the other one back up just so we can see what's going on. I'll turn this down for now. And we say, I remember we should be able to duplicate them as well, but we'll get that. Oh shoot, we need a duplicate because I want to configure this whole thing over again. I should be able to delete as well. All right, so let's go with, I need the ability to delete as well as duplicate and existing lower third. Let's do that. That's a quick hit right there. I need that. But let me see if I was to say, ooh, did y'all see that? That was dope. That was dope. Oh, that's sweet. So if I go to transition and I say, let's make it, say 750. And we do, I like it. I like it a lot. Now I just need to customize the fonts and stuff like that. Make things a little bigger here and there. Let's say rows. I know I have this at 120. I have the font size at 80, but it's not really. Let's say we do 300 maybe. I don't, okay, let me see what this says. So it's still working, all right. It is very promising. Some quick thoughts that I have right now, the colors aren't really matching the way that I want them to match. It's not really going 100% across the screen, but it is working for the most part. I mean, for a new product, a new company, it's handling its own, I must say. Let me see, do I have this thing? I have this thing. I'll drop the link to create anything in the chat in case anybody wants to try it out. Let's go with that or that. If anybody wants to try it out, click on the link, sign up for free, give it a try, give it a whirl, see how you like it. I've added the complete, delete, and duplicate functionality to your lower thirds. Here's what's available. 2-click safety. First click highlights and delete. Second click confirms the deletion. Auto reset. Confirmation resets after 3 seconds if not confirmed. Smart cleanup. If you delete the currently selected, editor view clears automatically. duplicate functionality, perfect copies, duplicates all settings, naming, smart naming, adds copy to the name, instant selection, duplicate. All right. I also want the rectangles to be at full 100% width. That will take them from edge to edge. I want the logo to sit on top of the rectangles. So on top of the rectangles, and the logo size can be controlled independently to be scaled up or down as necessary. I want to be able to control the padding left or right of the text in the rectangles, so they are not overlapping with the logo. Let's send that off. Let me see if this has its delete stuff yet. App detected an error. What's your error? I paste that in here. All right, we'll figure that out and fix that. But things be working. Oh, okay. I can see it starting to, as you see the, it's going 100% width now. As you can so you can actually see on the OBS, it's making the enhancements in real time. It's making the enhancements in OBS in real time. I wonder if we can have like a canvas where we can play around with the, like, how we want it to look. I'm gonna ask it next. It's just easier when you have a canvas and you can move things around to where you want them to be. Yeah, it's so basically what's happening, the picture went behind the words, right? But as part of the configuration that it's doing, once it's finished, once the code is done, we should be able to go into the editor and move the text over so that it won't be doing that. So it's actually like, it makes sense because I told it, I knew this was going to happen, and I told it to do that so that we can configure it ourselves how we want it to look. We're just waiting for the code to finish. All right, so the code is done. So now if we go over here, let's refresh that. And we have duplicate, we have trash. And let's delete that one. There's supposed to be something that's telling me to delete it. I don't see that, but whatever. Let's go look at this one. Let's go look at this one. And let's say text. Is that one showing? All right, so let's say we were to do logo size, text. It's not gonna work because I can't see. I can't see it padding. So I don't want padding to the right. I want padding to the left. Let's say we were to do 80. So which one is, all right, so let's say this is at 80. Say this is at 80. And we play that. Play that. Is it me or I'm not seeing it happen? I'm not seeing it happen, right? It's not me. I'm not the crazy one. I mean, I am crazy, but it's actually not taking the changes that I made. All right, so let's it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky, I must say. Okay. Let me look at the console again before I do anything. Clear. Play. Okay. Okay. I don't see it actually take, so it's not taking the positioning that we're putting on it. So, all right, let's say the canvas or the lower third isn't taking the position and or the size and the size and the padding that I set for the text. It just overlays the text over the logo. The logo in the lower third. It just overlay. Would it be possible to have some type of canvas where we can use an editor to make the changes and make the changes on the editor? And it applies to the lower third configuration. Let's see what that says. And that'll probably take us up to time. But we made some decent progress. What did it say? What did I love what I see here, right? What did it say I was right about? It says the user is reporting to issues. They want a visual canvas editor when they can make changes. Let me check the current API roster and make sure we're handling the new fields properly. Then look at the display component, see if we're using the right values. Looking at the API, I can see that ID already has the logo size and padding fields in the formatted response, but the main route might not be handling these fields properly. For the display page, I need to make sure it's using the logo size and the text padding right. It should create a canvas editor. You're right. Let me fix the logos. Let me fix the logo size and the padding issues first, then create a visual canvas editor for real-time adjustments. All right, now let me fix the API roster property handle the new fields. I can see the API already includes the new field in the get route. Let me update the hooks to properties and the new fields in the update. The hooks already include the new field. Now let me create a visual canvas editor component that shows a real-time preview with drag and drop positioning. Okay. It's funny, it's showing up updating on the actual lower third as well. Okay, let me update. Perfect. I've implemented a comprehensive solution. Fix logo sizing. If you it should have updated automatically, I suppose. Real-time previous canvas simulate 16:9 aspect ratio. Live control, interactive logo positioning. Benefits of Canvas, you see is what you get. Real-time displays, intuitive design. Visual editing is faster than numeric inputs. Professional results ensures proper spacing and positioning. Broadcast ready full width edges. All right. Let's go take a look at it. So if we go to, ooh, so that's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to look. Does it look like that? I don't think so. Can I do anything with this? You can drag and drop. You can drag the logo to reposition it. I don't think I can. We're making progress, but let me see. So let's say we go 150 on this. Logo and image. Let's say this logo size is, it keeps on reverting it. Let's go, this is 80. Let's go, this is 80 as well. Saved. Canvas. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there. So let's say we reduce the row as well again to like 100. This stays at 80. This one goes to 50. This goes to 38. Canvas. Let's go for 120. Okay. I think the text is a little too big here. So let's say we go to the text of like 50 maybe. Yeah, it's 50. Okay. I'm liking. I think the bottom row needs to be a little bit taller. But I'm not seeing it reflected in I'm not seeing it reflected in see, it's not reflecting in the actual display though. Like here, it still looks exactly the same. Here, it looks correct, right? But and it's also limiting me on my padding. I I'm not able to do anything on the canvas either.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Interesting. For some reason, though, it's still not. It's not taking it to. So this is better. I want to be able to add more padding. I will just say that I need to be able to get the size of the logo bigger and to be able to add more padding on the left or right side. Either that or make the text start after the logo so they don't overlap. I am able to see the changes on the canvas, but they do not reflect in the actual lower third browser source overlay. All right, so we'll wait for this one. This will be the very last prompt that we send. We'll wait for it to see if it can update. Because I can see it in the canvas, but I cannot. I also can't interact with the canvas yet. But it's like the changes are not making it over to the actual browser source in OBS, which is the most important part of it. But this is pretty good. Like we did a lot. We did a lot with it. If we can get the logo to be bigger, and the font, like the font. See, okay, there it goes. There it goes. It just updated. It just updated. We still need it bigger though. So like it's getting there. It's getting there. I like it. I like it. It's new. It's new, so there's probably gonna be some little quirks with it and stuff like that. Learning curve, of course, but it's actually working. It's actually working. So I don't know. You guys try it out. You guys try it out. There's some different tools. I mean, there's some different things that I'm gonna try out with it to see how it goes. But you know, figure it out. Let's wait till this one is done. We'll take one more look at it, one more stab at it, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight. What is this article? Yeah. We'll save the consumerism article for next time, for Sunday. All right, so that's good. So so the work is done. Let me refresh that. I like the fact that the whole thing is created in HTML. So I can't use the canvas right now, but that's okay. We are gonna go to, I don't know why it keeps resetting this to 164. Let's say we do this. Canvas. I need to be able to adjust the positioning too of the, and I need to be able to say padding from the bottom for the lower third. But whatever. Let me refresh that. It's weird. I don't know why it says there's 4 rows. Let's delete a row. And let's delete a row. Okay. And look See, it keeps you saying the logo size back to 64. I don't know what's the obsession with 64, but and this is stuck at 120, which we told it not to do that, but it's okay. The size is still kind of okay, but figure it out. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think it's getting there. You just gotta, make it a little bigger. Let me see. Let's say we go with 80 on this and 120 on that. Canvas. Refresh. And then we do cool. Well, we'll leave it at that. I'll keep playing around with it, trying to see if I can customize my lower third. Get it to work. I'll share some feedback with the company with Create Anything. But so far so good. So far so good. I like the fact that we were able to get something working, get it to load in OBS. We see the transition working. So I like, now that I see it working, I know this can work. Just have to prompt it to, like, for instance, I want to say, I want the first row to transition left to right. I want the second row to transition right to left, with the text that's part of it. And then I want the logo to transition a different way. I need to make sure that the logo size stays what I set it to, and I need to be able to position it. All this type of stuff, all this little stuff. But the thing is, it'll be ours. It'll be mine, right? And I don't have to pay an egregious amount of money to have some other platform create it for me. So that's that. I'm checking the chat, and then I'm gonna wrap up the show, right? So, let me see. Junior says the logo, it messed up the logo. Yep, I expected that. Actually, there's some more super chats. So not super chats. There's some more messages. Rara says, you know why it's called the Christian Roundup? I do not. Why is it called the Christian Roundup? Are you trying to round us up so you can rob us? So you could rob us blind? Let me see. It says great scripture study on your other channel. By the way, yes, that was great. You guys try out Create Anything. Let me know what you're able to build. Leave me a comment on this video or on the other video on what you're able to build. Let me see. The picture went behind the picture went behind the words. I expected that to happen. We're fixing that. We're making an account for that. It says yes, a canvas makes sense. Just guessing every time. Just drag it where you want it. Yeah, so we have to fix that as part of the canvas as well. It didn't do that exactly the way that we wanted it. It says make the bottom row height a bit higher. Yep, I'm doing that. It's a little slow to get there. It's a new platform, so gotta work with it. This is definitely a great program for the OBS user who wants multiple lower thirds at the same time. And what I could even. So I was gonna say I can make it available, but it does use a database and stuff like that. But we're able to manage it. We're able to manage it here. So I gotta think about it. But maybe it could be something that I could share it. I'll see what's available. I'm not really too sure what's available with this whole platform yet. But maybe if I have mine working, then you can just clone this project and you can set up your colors, set up your lower thirds, all of that good stuff. I don't know. We'll see. And then you can customize it yourself. Let's see. It says, because it's a live stream that TCR is forcing me to do, so I might as well use the same initials as a thorn in my side to type of reminder. Wow. I'll take it. I will take it. I take that as a compliment, Rod Brown. I take that as a compliment. Oh my, that is a good one. I like it. Says clone this project would be a great idea. They should have that available. I'm gonna keep playing around with it, see all that it can do. But so far so good. So far so good. First time using it. I think for our very first time using this, we're able to do a lot. We're able to do a lot in about 2 hours of time. So really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I am going to get up and out of here. Rod Brown did not want me to take it as a compliment. Sorry, not sorry. In the words of Stephen A. Smith, I apologize. I apologize. I said what I said. However, I apologize for saying what I said. And real quick, right? As I was listening to him talk, it's what I heard, right? This is my show. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to speak the way that I want to speak. And the way that I want to speak, is the way you guys are telling me to speak. Because guess what? Because I want to speak that way. You guys think that you guys are controlling me? No. You guys told me to jump. But although I jumped, it was because I wanted to jump. Right? So don't you all come at me trying to tell me how to run my show. Don't you tell me how to run my show. Just know that. I am apologizing because you told me what I wanted to do. You basically told me what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. All right. So I'm still the boss around here. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. All right. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Or as Skip Bayless would say, Stephen Nay Smith. Anyhow, that's it for tonight. You guys remember tomorrow we have the bug bite. We're going to be talking about a Coinbase lawsuit. Coinbase in the news again, facing lawsuits, misleading information. Shout out to Chauncey Billups, to Damon Jones, and to Terry Rozier and the entire Gambino crime syndicate family. Who knew? I didn't know they were still around, but they are apparently. Like a bad movie. I'll see you guys on Sunday. See you guys tomorrow in the chat, and then I'll see you guys live on Sunday. Until then, Techotrough, we are out.
Spartans! What is your profession?
I'm not that far removed from the storm. The heat still lingers, my heart still warm. I try to change, but the core remains. I'm not that far removed from the flame.
I'm not that far removed from the storm. The heat still lingers, my heart still warm. I try to change, but the core remains. I'm not that far removed from the flame.
They pushed and pulled like I'm a game to play. Thought I'd crumble, thought I'd stray. I walked away from shadows I knew, but I'm not that far removed from the view.
They threw their stones, I caught them all. Built a wall so I wouldn't fall. Changed my name, changed my tune, but I'm not that far removed from the moon.
I'm not that far removed from the fire that burns, the soul I prove. You can test me, you can try, but I'm still the storm, the unbroken sky. I bury my past, but it won't stay gone. A ghost in the mirror, it lingers on. Try to rewrite, try to improve, but I'm not that far removed from the groove.
I buried the fire, but it still flickers low. They thought I'd crumble, but they don't even know. The echoes of me that I left in the past still rise like a shadow I can't outlast.
They see my face, but they don't see the scars. Every line's a map, a story that's ours. I wear my armor, my heart's subdued, but I'm not that far removed from the crude.
They built their walls, but I've got my tools. Try to make me dance to their shallow rules. I walked away, but the fight's in my veins. Not that far gone from my old hurricane.
They wanted a puppet, but I cut the strings. Tried to clip my wings, but I still sing. I shed my skin, but the scars still show. Not that far gone from the me they used to know. I'm not that far removed from the fire that burns the soul I prove. You can test me, you can try, but I'm still the storm, the unbroken sky.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.
Oh, they act like I've forgotten the fight, but I'm a phoenix not lost in the night. I've grown taller, but the roots run deep. I'll wake the thunder if they wake the beast.